Welcome back, everyone, to today's action for the Indy Karting Challenge as we get set once again from Whiteland, Indiana for today's racing. Happy to have you with us for the afternoon session for the final round of the season. As this afternoon, it will be the 206 Cadets, the 206 Sportsmen, the 206 Masters, the KA Juniors, and the 206 Lights, who will all be a part of the festivities this afternoon. We're minutes away from the start of today's festivities from getting underway here. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside me is Taylor Burris as we get prepared for our final races of the season. Taylor, these drivers had a busy time, some of them at least, during the morning sessions. But this afternoon, they look to keep the championship momentum strong to cap off 2025. As these drivers get themselves ready to go for tonight's festivities, it's worth noting the layout once again for today. We'll be using a fan-voted on layout. The drivers also had their hand in said vote, where the layout features multiple flowing chicanes to start off the course before passing opportunity down to the back straightaway before they go to the infield section. Infield section seeing some overlap, especially in towards one of the tight hairpins, but majority of the lap is a flowing portion where you have to be good following the carts behind you to set up for opportunities and passes before they head off to Daytona. Once they get to Daytona, they'll get the power down and the corner exit to the front straightaway. We'll set up the best passing opportunity down into turn one once again. These drivers have 5.5 minutes before they hit the racetrack for today. As said, they elected to split the two groups apart here for a first session. We'll have to see how they fare out here today. Now, we'll have to keep an eye on how things will go for the pace laps. Believe they have noted that there is a 1 lap pace lap for today's afternoon sessions. Now the temperatures are up to about 54 degrees Fahrenheit, just about here at Whiteland Raceway Park, also known today as K1 Circuit Whiteland. So a few minutes away from today's action, Taylor, hello once again. Are you ready to see how things fare out here today? And I believe we've lost Taylor. So, as we stretch along, why don't we talk about the championship battles here today? .206 Cadet. As we go on here, we'll see James Fox up at the top of the board coming into today. His points lead isn't a clinch, but it's a close one in that regard. James Fox has 2,020 points to the 1,860 of Jackson McNeely. 160 points is their separation, a part of the range bracket here. However, remember, two of those drivers actually had disqualifications that impacted the points, and also sees Bo Lazier should say, having an opportunity potentially to steal second also. So a few different opportunities in these cadets. That'll be the first in the running order, part of their championship battles here. See if they can come away as title contenders. Fox in the most comfortable spot. We know he already won the micro championship and has already won the mini race today in his first race in that class. So as we continue to prepare for today, we have less than 3 minutes to go until we get rolling for our sessions here. We'll go through the championship battles as they come through here today. We do have a couple of the other championships we can talk about here. 206 Legends can confirm championship J. Brian Williams is now in hand. The 75 officially getting the championship by more than 1,000 points over Tom Harleman. Supermaster earlier today went the way of William McLaughlin. McLaughlin picked up 200 points for his win in the class for the final, third place overall. That secured a championship more than 200 points up over Danny Cutshaw. As for the last races of the day, the KA Seniors and the KA Masters. The KA Seniors, AJ Lunda's talked about it already, clinched the championship coming in. His lead for the championship almost 230 over Dane Van Dyke. Well, KA Masters, we didn't see anybody take part in that for the past 4 rounds. Sean Nelson had already secured that championship a long time ago in the 21 machine in KA Masters. So I believe we have Taylor now on the line here as we get set to go. Taylor, what are your thoughts for the afternoon sessions?
Well, it's going to be a great afternoon of racing here today at the K1 circuit in Whiteland. Qualifying just about to kick off with our cadet categories. And I got to say, James Fox looking to go for it again here. I see him getting set, ready to go racing. And then, of course, we'll have the 206 Sportsmen immediately after this. So great to see the numbers up for this category and looking forward to seeing some great racing here, as there you see them all lined up before the gates open and we set them out to have some fun here at K1.
Absolutely. Now, want to hear your thoughts on this first class coming up. The cadets, part of the separation here that we're going to see today with the speeds that drivers expect. Keep in mind, cadets are on a red slide, so it's a bit slower than a sportsman class kart, which has a green slide. For those curious, the slide essentially impacts how much speed, as simply as that may sound, the karts then get in terms of how much they're allowed to have on throttle, in terms of how much they have in terms of the carry on the speed. So that's why they split them up based on the lap times they were showing in the practice in the warm-up earlier on today. So we'll have 5 total races as part of our coverage here this afternoon for this series. Just about ready for the karts to finally get going here. How do you feel about the cadets here as they start their qualifying?
Well, as they work their way out onto the circuit, we'll give you your rundown of those cadet drivers as Bo Laser, Jackson McNeely, and Diesel Maxwell. Of course, we saw them racing earlier this morning. Kyler Hendrickson also joining us in this 4-kart battle. So my question is going to be, is Bo Laser going to be the one who will have some great run today, or will Maxwell and McNeely try and put an end to Bo Laser's double wins today? As we know, James Fox is going to be your double champion in both 206 Cadet, as well as, of course, what we saw earlier today in the Mini Swift category.
Yep, and we'll see how they race it out here today in the respective classes. For those curious, James Fox did take part in the practice sessions, but he actually got promoted to sportsman for his age bracket. So that's why he's not a part of this cadet group. So he is growing up. That's all you can say. We'll have to see how things fare out with him taking a drop here today. His previous drop was from a 1st place in a heat and a 7th in the final that started off the season. Every other race has either been the disqualification in round 4 or has been 180 points or more in terms of what's been scored in the finals. McNeely starting right off the tempo in the 57 nines, by the way. So he's on a roll to start off the qualifying session. Everybody else still getting their tires up to speed and temperature here. Those tire temps so critical to make sure there's no issues and you are able to maximize speed. You go faster every lap, Taylor, for a reason here.
You certainly do, and as we see those laps continue to wind down in time, there you see across the line McNeely a 53.49, a 10th off Bo Laser with a 53.59. So we're going to really see those times run down closer and closer, possibly low 53s, high 52s by the time qualifying is over.
Absolutely. Fastest in final practice for this class, for those curious. That ended up going the way of Bozier. He had a time in the 51 threes. Everybody else had some massive splits in terms of their qualifying, or rather their warm-up speeds. Expecting potential with the same now that they get up to speed here in qualifying. McNeely keeping an eye on a bit here. This time through, Jackson McNeely behind Bo Lazier. The 880 gets a 52-8. 2/10 up over Diesel Maxwell.
Really good run right here for our competitors in this qualifying session. McNeely picked it up a little bit with that 53.39. Kyler Hendrickson's got a little bit of work to do. He is making improvements, which is good to see, but not enough really to challenge for a position inside the top three in qualifying here as they continue with a minute and a half to go. Bo Laser, let's see if he can drop that down further under a 52.8 with only a minute and 90 seconds left.
Yep, not a lot of time to be able to try and improve here as Bo continues to set faster and faster lap times, going exactly how things were earlier on today. So now it's going to be interesting to see how big the separations potentially get during the race itself here, Taylor. We've seen in a couple of the races the intervals get pretty sizable. A couple of them seen intervals as high as 8 seconds, but no one ran away higher than that. It wasn't like a 28-second race win that in some cases we've seen earlier on in the season. It was relatively close.
Certainly was here, and we got a little bit of a tow happening right now between some of our competitors in this qualifying session, that being Bo Laser and Jackson McNeely. That's going to really pick up the pace for these competitors as they cross the line. 52.47 is the best time, 52.74 last time time for Bo Laser. Not, though, able to make up some ground is Jackson McNeely. He's still half a second off the pace.
Yeah, Bo at this point, think you can say has dominated the session, but they'll come to the end of qualifying this time through. Ozier up at the top of the board again. The 52-second bracket has slowed down all drivers except for McNeely and Hendrickson. Slow down a bit. That's a better way of saying half the field got better times last time, but didn't get past Maxwell. The other half is starting to reach past the cliffing point. Checker flag. No other improvements. They stay within a tenth or two away from their personal best. Bozier and Diesel Maxwell up front. McNeely and Hendrickson are the other drivers in Cadet. So qualifying done for the first of our classes today. So it's time to switch over to the Sportsman category in terms of our conversation. Familiar names like earlier with the micros and the minis also fall over to this respective class. Whereas Blake Martinez trying to clinch up a championship, he's got a couple zeros to his name when it comes to his drops. So today will likely not be one of the drops as a result. However, his championship rival missed several races this season, somewhat with conflicts with MCC Cincinnati. So Martinez has already clinched up the championship, Taylor. But this is a class where people have stopped in on part-time stints or for one-offs and have gone on to get wins. So will it be the day Fox makes a one-off to end the season and gets double victories on the way to double championships?
Well, I see him right there in that number 12 Top Kart USA, so I think it's safe to say, yep, he's going to try and play spoiler today for sure.
Yeah, he's going to be the first one out onto the racetrack. He was the leader in final practice by about a tenth of a second over Martinez. Wait, someone like Chase Call had been the rest of the top four, with Jackson Jessup being behind the first of the cadets, a part of that practice session. So they all hit the racetrack and all look to see where they shape up here. 5 minutes on the board once again. We also have in this group Braden Branham, who will make an appearance here today. So Branham, haven't seen that name much this season either, is a driver that does pop up when it comes to Derby City Karts and vintage karts in the past, if you look up that name, for example. But today, we'll see how they fare out in the modern technology as they make their way through for the first time, Taylor.
Yeah, Branham is making his debut this weekend at IKC for the season finale, with 4 minutes on the clock now for these drivers in qualifying. James Fox, once again, back up by over a second over Chase Call. Then Martinez has trouble for one driver. The number 15 machine of Call loops it around there in his Coyote machine, but is able to get back going. Now, already got a lot of work to do here in this qualifying session in 206 Sportsman.
We'll see how things shape up here for the rest of the session. As they work their way to the infield sectors, Fox is up at the top of the board. So we'll have to see where things pop up for the majority of the drivers here today by the end of this session. A lot of drivers playing defensively here. Looks like Martinez having some issues, electing to try and get some draft instead of keeping the clean air. Fox goes to the 51-second bracket as a result. No one else gets within 2 seconds of the pole time in session so far, though. So a dominating effort by Fox on the get-go yet again, as even though it's almost 3 o'clock, it almost looks very much so not 3 o'clock with the way the tint's starting to hit the racetrack. It's almost pinkish out there.
Yeah, it is. It is looking pretty nice out there, I have to say, and going to continue to warm up just a little bit, but still a lot of action still to come. And then starting to see here where the sun is lined up, a lot of shade up on the back side of the track. So that's going to provide some interesting concepts and scenarios for how the traction and the handling of these karts will be.
Yep, and right now, 2 minutes to work with. Fox continues to streak on ahead of everybody else. Chase Call is the one up to second, by the way, in the 15 kart, despite the side slide we've seen a couple laps ago. Call, one of the drivers that runs the Top Kart USA as of a year ago. In terms of some of the driver manufacturers, we see Branham, who was part of some practices probably on social media early in the season, is up to third on track. Martinez hasn't been able to get a good quality lap in yet. Will this be the time? He's closed up a decent bit to the kart in front. That's the best barometer, but that is now. How about within 4/10 of the pole? Fox still streaking up top, but Martinez did get to the 51 ones. That is a 10th quicker than anybody else behind him at least, but still 4/10 back of Fox.
Yeah, quite a ways back. He still has some work to do, as Martinez is just doing everything he can to try and prevent James Fox from going back to back. He's got a lot more work to do with only a minute left to go, or less than a minute left to go in qualifying. This could be his final lap, or he may get one more shot of it. He's got a little help behind him. That, I believe, is the driver of Branham behind him. As here comes James Fox across the line, a 50-51. Here comes Martinez and company. Do they improve? Martinez improves a 50-28-7. Chase Call moving up some spots as well with a 50-32.
How about that? Martinez took his time to be able to build up the speed in the tires. And now coming up to the final time around this time through, we'll see what Fox now does now that he's been relegated down the pack after dominating qualifying much of the way. The benchmark 50.2. Will that stay the case? The benchmark was that ballpark in the warm-up session. Checker flag. Fox only gets to the threes this time. He could have matched what he did in final practice today. Up to the ones goes Martinez anyway. Blake Martinez is on the pole for Sportsman over Fox, Call, Branham, Jessup, and Seminolik, your six a part of this class. Good for Martinez after having a hard time trying to elevate from second, third position earlier today. He gets to control the field to start things off this afternoon, Taylor.
He really is, and that's going to be a big help for him on the opening lap here at IKC for the K1 circuit, and really great opportunity. We'll see, though, if James Fox can respond and take the fight to Blake Martinez in this race.
Yep, and now our next group is preparing for their turn. It's 206 Masters this time. And for the Masters, well, it's been a different type of class. Evan McCorkindale has had a pretty tight battle this season with Troy Toney. However, according to the points tallies, 0 drivers scored points in round 11. So curious how that's going to work out, if that number is correct. Troy Toney had been within double digits of McCorkindale coming into that championship. J. Brian Williams came into today third in 206 Masters after dominating his other class that he's raced in the Legends and Supermasters grouping. Kevin Seminolik, the first part-timer. And if I'm seeing correctly, Evan McCorkindale is not being scored today at the 206 Masters, at least not yet. So that 191 appears to not be on track with 206 Masters today here, Taylor. Troy Toney may end up winning the championship. It depends really on where the official points actually end up with today, especially since there weren't any from round 11, if I'm reading correctly.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look on that matter here, and I'll let you know of the situation from the previous round. But as we watch Troy Toney, he currently has a 1.9 second advantage at the moment. And looking over in the event, we did have a 206 Masters race last time out. In fact, it was McCorkindale who won last time.
So we'll have to work and see what the official points tallies end up being. Since that is apparently an issue, we apologize for that issue on behalf of those of the IKC and here at K1 Circuit Whiteland for that scoring situation for the 206 Masters. So it's going to be difficult to get the full read on the championship coming into today. We can say McCorkindale, if that is indeed the case, which it is, since you were, I believe, one of the people we've seen on a broadcast last time out. Wait, you're with me. I'm mixing myself up in places. But Troy Toney, regardless, has already used drops in rounds 3 and 4. So there's a lot of math that has to be done here. McCorkindale not being part of those. Troy Toney, though, is blisteringly fast here over Derek Hastings, Kevin Seminolik in the field, J. Brian Williams, Eric Spilling, Melvin Gotze, Chad Kane, and Neil Phelps are also in this field. Toney should be a superstar for today, at least, Taylor, if he's going to be able to keep this interval up.
He certainly is looking to be the favorite in this, as how about Brian Williams moving up to P2, Melvin Goodsey also up a couple of positions in third spot. So yeah, it depends on how it goes. And just as I say that, Derek Hastings to the top of 51.81. Good enough to beat Troy Toney for the moment with 2 minutes left in qualifying.
Yep, so now we get to work on the rest of this session. As we try and work and see where things play out. 1:35 to go on the clock. Looks like some games being played by some of the drivers. Troy Tony just jumped to the top. Derek Hastings had risen the bar up from second. J. Brian Williams still half a second back of P2, though. Doesn't seem to have the same kart for today compared to the top contenders. Derek Hastings did back down to reset for one final push here. And it might be part of just trying to cool the tires off a little bit, Taylor, then trying to work them back up before you put them into full sawn for one final push lap.
Absolutely. You want to try to give them a little bit of a cool down here, see if you can get that final push like you mentioned, but you also do want to make sure you have a little bit of drafting help. We're seeing a couple of drivers who are close. Williams and Simonelli are within a good drafting distance from each other. You see them right there at the bottom of your screen as they come onto the front straightaway. So that could be a big help. Melvin Goodsey picked up a couple of spots. Kevin Simonelli moving up to P4 as well, as Neil Phelps struggling, and Derek Hastings to the top, a 49.687. No, I did not say what you thought I said.
I don't know what you just said, to be honest with you. Is it the reference to a certain two numbers?
Exactly. I said 8 in between those two.
Okay. So no 6-7 moments yet. There will be now. But the checker flag waves as Derek Hastings is top of the board with the 6-8-7 as mentioned. We'll see if there's any changes. Troy Tony's already ended his laps since he was up front of everybody. Gotzi stays third. Simonelli stays fourth. Williams stays fifth. Hastings does improve to the 49.643s, with Spilling staying at sixth. Seventh going the way of Neil Phelps. Chad King rounds out the entries here today. 206 Masters having a decent qualifying session. So that being said here, we do have one more K8 category, a part of our qualifying sessions. They're going to hit the racetrack next, Taylor, as they get closed up in this session. K8 Junior. Juniors so far when it comes to the KA side of things. Andrew Avalos, who's been hanging around the paddock all day today. We've seen him around on several of the camera shots down on the grid. He looks to secure a championship, but it's razor thin. It's the closest championship on property, Taylor. 6 points is the difference coming into today between the 7 and the 64.
It's going to come down to who finishes ahead of who in this race. It's going to determine by one position who will be your champion in KA Junior, and it's incredible. But don't forget, Lucian Laser is also in the mix as well. Same thing with Jordan Lapin. Those four competitors are all within 50 to 70 points. They're all within under 100 points of being right there in the hunt for a chance of a championship. If Avelos and Galen, like we saw in the 206 Junior, where Chaos had issues for drivers like Dunn, it could possibly swing in the favor of someone else in this category. So a lot still up for grabs for your top four, and it's going to be an exciting one amongst these four competitors of Lathan, Laser, Galen, and Avelos. Avelos, though, and Galen have been switching back and forth with race wins throughout the entire season. Currently, Galen with the most wins, I believe, looking over everything. No, give it to Avelos with 3 wins of the season. But the problem is Avelos has missed 2 races completely compared to what Galen has, who has not missed a single race this season at all.
So an interesting swing here, to say the very least, as Avelos just set himself on track now after a bit of a distance there compared to everybody else. We'll have to see where things go. Feitinger is on property today. You've seen him earlier struggle in the earlier events in the 206 categories. Now, look to try and rebound. He's 1 second off Mason Gallion's times. Mills is going to be well behind everybody else on time here, Taylor, with just where the position is on the track based on what we're seeing here. So we'll have to see where they all shape up here. With the first 90 seconds already burned, our first major flyers coming on through. And the 7 does put up its first flyer. It's within a couple 1,000ths to the 64 as they group together here.
Yeah, 45.9 to a 45 or 45.93 to a 45.97 between Galen and Avelos. They are ready to take the fight to each other in this battle for the KA Junior Championship. Lapin and Fightinger got a little work to do here. They are about a little under half a second off the pace. Jiju Sivakumar looking to try and get a good run today, looking to have a chance of going for double podiums in today's action if the opportunity presents itself. As we watch these drivers work their way up to the Daytona banking, there you see Lapin in that 817 machine across the line. It is Galen with a 45.555, and Lapin moving up, and Fightinger now responds, a 45.58 for his number 10 machine.
Yep, right now, going good so far for Lapham in this group. Lapham, amongst those who missed the opening 2 rounds in this category, but it's been competitive. He's won a heat race, finished second a couple times in 2025 in the 817. Looking potentially for another podium opportunity, depending on how things go. There is Fightinger. We see a lot on the regional scene. Talked with his family in Wisconsin one time. Very happy folks, very nice people to speak with on the track, and a very happy driver. However, the time's still not there. Still in fourth spot here with Lapham 45 ones at the top of the board. So far, the benchmark keeps rising, and your championship contenders are ever glued together here, separated by about less than a tenth on the track.
It's all going to come down to inches, tenths, and more as they work their way through with a minute to go in qualifying. Andrew Avelos responds with a 45.018. What can we see from Lapin and Galen? They have also improved. Lapin 44.86 now with a new track record as trouble for one kart. That is the 10 of Fightinger. Stuck out there, nearly hitting the barriers. Has to get that kart back around to rejoin as he's trying to get himself situated. Hopefully he'll refire and continue on, or just take it behind the wall. As we go back up towards the driver of the 817 of Lapin, who's trying everything he can in this closing 30 seconds.
Yep, just running out of time in the session to be able to get to work here. Lapham still up 2/10. Couple yellow flags waving on the far side of the racetrack. In fact, it's in the final sector. It's issues for Fightinger. That car getting picked up off the track right at the end of the session too. Unfortunate for them here as check flag waves. A few drivers have a lot of extra time to work with here. Lapham did not improve last time through. I believe it's amongst the drivers going to be able to extend one more time. Everybody else just keeps on going here with Vowles and Gallion, should say, all grouped up. Will the 7 be able to improve enough? No improvements for both of them. So we're already getting ready for the checker flag. Lapham's already taken it. Right. Fightinger already with issues. Nolan Wade, Siva Kumar, a part of this field here too. In fifth, so with Lapham, Vowles, Gallion should say, with Fightinger, Siva Kumar, and Wade, the 6th, a part of the KA Juniors. One more grouping to go before we head behind the paywall. Be sure to sign up to KC Premium today, $9.99. You'll be able to see all the racing action this weekend, as well As for many race weekends across the country, $9.99 a month, it's easy. Be sure to sign up today. We'll go behind that paywall soon, but we have 206 Light. That'll hit the racetrack right after this grouping. It's our last of the 206 categories for the seniors at least. And we'll say, for this final category coming up, Taylor, Braden Heber, again, a championship contender. He's missed 2 rounds with conflicts, but he started the season off in style. 4 appearances, 4 sweeps. He's slowed down since then with just the 1 win in round 9. But outside of that, he is in position to win that championship, more than 200 points up. All it will take today is the start today, likely, and as a result, we'll secure things over Colton Kelly and Colin Harden for the title.
Yeah, of course, the last time out we were racing, it was Levi Wilbur winning in the senior light category. Not in contention to go for the championship, but does have a shot to maybe try to finish inside the top 3 finishers amongst them. Of course, last time out it was Wilbur, Kelly, and Harden, your top 3 finishers here in 206 senior light. Braden Heber, I got to say, as long as he starts strong, has no mistakes, he will be looking to be your champion in 206 senior light. We'll have to wait for official results on it, but that is looking to be the case, as there goes a laser out onto the track, led by a total of, it looks like to be 14 karts, maybe a little more as they cross the line. 13 is showing now. So a good grouping of 206 senior light competitors putting on us a great show for our final qualifying session of the afternoon.
Final grouping on track and ready to see who is able to put up the best times here. AJ Lund and Jeff Lund both in this field for senior light. Brendan Heber, Lucian Lazier. You also have Evan Patton, Levi Wilbur, Colton Kelly, Colin Harden, many of the championship drivers here. Tyler Sims, Robert Carroll, Zach Allen, Andrew Goldman. Part of those with transponder recordings. One driver will have to work on the situation with their transponder. That was Levi Smith with that issue. So the first drivers come on through, and a lot of people packed together here. For the most part, we're seeing at least 4 or 5 car trains here, Taylor. A little bit different than mostly every session today.
Yeah, certainly seems to be the case here. A lot of drivers just trying to get those last few moments in with their qualifying efforts here, as Levi Wilbur will lead that charge by a significant margin, but we know for a fact that will change. AJ Lund looking to try and sweep 2 of the senior categories. We have at least 3 senior categories competing here today with KA Senior, 206 Medium, and 206 Light. As Braden Heber to the top with a 49.37, half a second clear of your rest of your field.
Yeah, good start to the session for the 8 machine, who looks to secure another championship. It was a tight situation the first place at MCC Cincinnati. Already had 1 trophy there, looking at what would be his 3rd championship in the past 2-3 weeks alone at the regional level. Had also had some breakthrough runs a couple months ago. Keep in mind at NCMP Newcastle, as it should be described, with the Grands. Levi Wilbur and Brendan Heber trade times up top, 48.9 for Heber as he continues to speed up. Everybody else, you see some of the groupings right now on the far side. Packs of 3, 4 becoming the regular among some of the competitors here on track. Right now, some of the drivers that need to find a lot of speed. Jeff Lund is down to 54.6s. Andrew Goldman's down in 8th spot, for example. We've seen fast runs. Pretty good separations building up across the track here throughout this qualifying session as we see some of the errors as they cart around.
We are starting to see some of them other competitors now negotiate, putting those final few touches on their qualifying effort with 1:40 left to go on the clock. 361 machine is trying to work his way up. Of Evan Patton currently in the top 10 as Levi Wilbur to the top with a 48.74. Can Heber or Lund respond in these closing minutes?
Yep, only about a minute to work with in this session. Wilbur and Heber trading times back and forth for the most part here. Take a look at Wilbur. Levi Wilbur today has looked sporty in each of his races. He's been a driver who's been in a lot of close finishes on social medias, also races over at Newcastle for its club racing. So we'll have about one more time around, it looks like, here for the end of the session. He's also got experience in Route 66 starts in 2025. So at this point, look to see if he's going to be able to try and get his third win of the season. This kart seems to be balancing well for the 506 to end off the season here, Taylor. Heber's dominated the season, but Wilbur, well, he's had speed as of late.
Yeah, he's kind of been that patient one. He's had pace, but really started to showcase it here towards the end of the season, like you touched on. As they come across the line, no improvement for your pole sitter. AJ Lund looking to try to come across the line to stake the pole position away, which he does with a 48.699. An incredible drive right there for the number 656.
So, change up at the top. AJ Lund gets the pole in the last moments. How about that, AJ Lund? He's amongst the drivers that we normally have not seen in this series this season. Wilbur, Heber, Zara Kelly, the top 5. Sims, Hardin, Goldman, Patton, Smith, Jeff Lund, Carroll, Allen, the rest of the lineup. With that being said, we'll take a bit of a break. When we come back, we'll be behind the paywall. Sign up today for KC Premium if you want to be able to watch today's action, $9.99 a month. That's how much it costs if you want to see some quality racing. We'll see you on the other side of the paywall. We'll see you for the heat races next.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt. Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion, Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to K100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make weight. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle. How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with two classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.